we're not going to beat around the bush here. We don't know how to pronounce the name of this. Gaahls Wyrd or Weird? What are you going to go with, Mike?
It's got Gaahls Wyrd is a bit like
Oh,
it
you're
really
weird.
doesn't suit the vibe of the album having the word weird in it.
Yeah, but I think weird is the pronunciation of that. But then it just sounds like you're calling yourself a bit weird in a weird
Goes,
way.
yeah, yeah, and in the third person.
Yeah. So
And Gaahls Word's a bit like it's a bit like a wrestling thing, like sort of like because Gahl said so. So you know what I mean? This is
yeah,
Gahl's word because Gahl
that's
said
the
so.
bottom line. I love
Gals
it.
316 or something.
that, that would be great merch. So, all right, listen, for those not in the know, Gaahls Wyrd, Norwegian black metal, but quite loose black metal, more progressive black metal band formed in 2015. This is their second record that we're going to be talking about, entitled Braiding the Stories. 9 songs, 42 minutes, great length, Mike. Would you
Mm.
agree?
Oh yeah. It feels. Do you know what I have to say? Just to get into on this album, it doesn't. It feels like it packs a lot into that time.
Yeah, it feels like it's actually like not in a bad way, but it feels like it, that it's longer than 42 minutes. 42 minutes
Yeah.
isn't that long, but there's a lot going on here, isn't there?
Yeah. I think is there a couple of sort of I don't want to say interlude because I think they're more than that. But there's a couple of shorter sort of pieces in there, isn't there, that probably brings the runtime down.
Yes, and those. So like, I guess we'll go straight into it. The track one is one of those.
Mm.
It kind of falls in between like an introduction and a song. It's like 2 minutes something, with a kind of there was like a whispering. There was a vocal where he was saying the word whispering, and it just sounded a little bit weird for me. Like it was quite a skippable track, that song. I don't know how you felt about it, whether it was a kind of atmosphere builder or
I think it was a big time atmosphere builder, and I don't want to call it an intro because I think there was more to it than it just being like a little piece of music to open up. Are you talking about? Because I really liked his vocal at the end when it was this kind
no,
of
nah, not
quite
the end. It was quite.
delicate sort of.
Oh, maybe it was. It was a whispering.
Yeah, I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I liked it.
Something about it. I found quite comical. I don't know, man. I thought that song was maybe just a bit too long. It was a bit awkward because it was neither here nor there. I don't think there was enough to really get into it, and it wasn't short enough to be like, oh, this is just an intro. But then, I mean, track two kick straight in, and it's quite clear what they're about with that song.
Well, I want to ask your opinion, John. What have you? Not opinion. Did you have you heard this band before?
Yeah. So
Oh, have you?
I really enjoyed their first album, Ghosts Invited. I thought that was really cool. That came out in 2019. Um, and
Oh, you knew it. Didn't have a fucking clue. Never heard of this band.
so you didn't know what to expect.
No, I really didn't know what to expect. And at first, I was almost quite surprised you'd picked this one to do because it it's not really. I mean, the first 10, 12 minutes. It's not like what I was expecting when you said it was the guy from Gorgoroth, that one of the ex singers and stuff. It
Yes.
wasn't what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, because Gaahl is very prolific in the black metal scene. He's like one of the big, the big names, shall we say. Been around the blocks. Yeah, I think he was a founding member of Gorgoroth.
No, he joined later. I think.
Oh, did he?
I think he joined in like the late 90s.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I mean, even that's still pretty early on, isn't it? But yeah, and so I guess I kind of knew what to expect going into this. So it isn't normally what we kind of cover. Normally we go a little bit more like raw and powerful, kind of less proggy. So I'm kind of keen to know where you sat with this.
I thought this was really good, man. I thought it was quite amazing, actually. Um, I was really impressed with the way it was put together as an album. I thought the flow of it was
Yeah.
was really good, and I think, for me personally, I think everything kind of had there was intent behind everything. Even those shorter songs, I felt they were teeing up the next one, if you know what I mean. They go through movements to like to make it to maybe link two parts of the album together. Because when you listen to this, there's 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 not that much in the realms of like metal, like full on metal, isn't there? There's maybe two songs.
Two, yeah, maybe two songs. What ones were Time and Timeless Timeline,
Yep.
and then was it Visions and Time? No,
No,
Root the
it was Root the Will, yeah. So you had quite a gap between the first one and the second one as well.
Yeah,
I mean, stylistically, a lot of the other songs were kind of quite gothic. Um, maybe like quite a bit of post in there, like sort of post punk almost in atmosphere, and kind of post metal in places as well. There was a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
yeah,
And as you said, there's that prog influence as well. That you had a lot in a lot of the guitar like lead lines and stuff. They were kind of going down that prog route. There was kind of all of this, and then you had obviously a black metal influence in there as well. But it was largely more of it was more just a part of it as opposed to it being a black metal album, because I don't really think it is at all. I don't know. Actually,
yeah.
you know, I don't want to say it is at all, because you
No,
you can see why it
I
fits in that
agree.
range, but it's a lot more than just that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think black metal comes quite down the list of when you'd probably describe like the genre, like subgenres that this
Yeah,
takes. Even like the really metal parts, it was more that kind of modern metal, like that modern. I want to say commercial black metal. You know, your kind of like behemoth sound, um, rather than like old school
yeah,
tremolo.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but and normally like I don't really enjoy that kind of black metal, but I think because it was so those kind of injections were quite few and far between. I think it worked really well actually in the balance of
yeah,
this record. And I think it, like you kind of touched on at the start, like the whole thing was really well paced and really well balanced.
yeah. I was really impressed with this. Like, there's something about this album that makes me want to keep listening to it.
There's like a chilling evilness
Yeah,
underneath it all, isn't there? Because it's not like a kind of, it's not like prog in the sense of, you know, like a kind of Rush where you've got a bit more like uplifting power. It's very, there's like a chilling
yeah,
undertone, and I think when he does his kind of singing, like he's got that kind of lower register, almost kind of like an Lou Reed esque
hmm.
in parts, and I think
It's
it
quite
just works.
spoken, isn't it? In that way.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe that falls into the word Gaahls Wyrd rather than weird. But yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I think it
Did you
works
did you
really
did you think
well.
about? Did you plan that one beforehand?
No, that just
Is that
came
an
to me right now.
observation? No.
That just came to me right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks. If you liked what you heard, give us a like and a
If you like what
subscribe.
John said, pop a
Yeah.
little comment down below.
Welcome to the Crypt of Wax. Um, yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you. Something about it just kind of draws you back in, and I can't really put my finger on what it is, like, because this kind of music doesn't normally do it for me. I mean, saying that, I did really enjoy the first album of theirs, but it on the whole, this kind of metal doesn't really do it for me. But yeah, something about it was really Moorish, weren't it?
John, how does this compare to? You said you really liked the first album. How does this compare to it?
It is similar. I think it's a bit more experimental in its kind of dynamic range. Like I think there's a lot more kind of clean going on. I remember because I haven't actually gone back to that first album in a long time. Came out what 6 years ago now, but I remember it being a lot more like metal focused rather than that kind of like cleaner sound.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested to hear it because, I mean, okay, well, I'll ask you this then. With this album, like, what did you prefer about it? Did you prefer the metal aspect of it, which is kind of the two songs we spoke about,
Yeah,
or did you prefer the other stuff, the more atmospheric, dark kind of gothic sort of element?
I think you in this you seriously need both because
Hmm.
the when you did get that injection of metal, it was at such the perfect time that it it hit so much harder than if the whole album had just
Yeah,
been
yeah,
like that.
I thought that.
And then on the counter of that, like without that section, then the clean, if it was just all clean, then it just would have washed over you a little bit, wouldn't it? I think it. it is a full yin yang situation here where you kind
Yeah.
of do need both, and it works so well in its approach. Are you in the
Def
same boat?
Yeah, man. No, I absolutely agree. I think putting those I'm kinda glad there wasn't more metal than this. I like that
Yeah,
it was, in ratio, it was really much on the lower side, and it was very different to the rest of it, wasn't it? It wasn't
yeah.
so like that time and was it
Time and
time and
time,
ti
time and
time and
time is
timeless time
timeline.
time and timeless timeline. Um, that was very different to the tracks that led up to it, and it took me by surprise the first time I heard it when that came in. I thought, "Oh, I wasn't expecting this to come next," and I thought it was a really good song as well. Like it was,
Yeah,
you had the main riff was like it was quite catchy. The main riff. What I really liked was, and I think this was the case with the whole album, that when they went into the blasts on there, he wasn't tempted to do that kind of black metal shriek vocal. He
yeah,
kept up his lower register thing, and it worked really well. And actually, I have to say, across the album, I thought his vocals were amazing. Like
yeah,
I thought he showcased quite a lot of what he can do with range and things like that. But also just his melodies and like what he was writing for, I thought was pretty much perfect throughout the whole album.
he has a I don't want to say cinematic quality, but a kind of soundtrack. There's that kind of richness
Yeah,
to it, isn't there? And his
yeah,
melody choice is really, it's really cool, man. It shows like it's like a maturity, isn't it?
mm.
Almost in his songwriting, rather than, I think, yeah, if he'd gone into that kind of black metal shriek, especially on those kind of metally bits, it just would have not cheapened it per se, but it just didn't need to happen, did it? I'm glad that he
No, and it also
kept it.
actually gives a bit more continuity from the other songs into those because if he was changing his vocals entirely for them, you could be forgiven for thinking it's two different bands.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Did you have a standout track?
Um, I did actually. Which one did I like? Hang on. Um, oh fucking hell, I did have one. Do you know what? It might even be just track two, the first main one, "Braiding the Stories." I
Yeah,
thought that song was amazing. It was a long song. It was like 8 minutes long.
yeah,
Um, but it didn't drag. There was I really love the keys that went over the opening main section. They kind of were up front with the
yeah,
guitars sort of like behind them, kind of giving a bit more of the drive to it. Um, that I thought that song was amazing, and I loved there was a guitar solo at the end that was really kind of 80s influence. Like it had like an
yeah,
80s metal thing, but then it had like it was quite affected as well. So it sort of had that, post punk almost feel production to some of the lead
yeah.
lines on there as well. I thought that song. I feel like I thought there was another song that was a highlight, but that's the one that I feel like maybe is my favorite. Thinking about it,
That solo was great, man, because it started really simple. It was just like a
yeah,
kind of simple lead over this really kind of just
yeah,
driving beat, and that's what kind of gave it that 80s feel. But then each maybe like 4 bars, the solo got more and more intricate over time, and
yeah,
it was like a kind of sum up of the album in a way, like the kind of uh, proggy aspect of it. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm in an agreement. I think that song was also amazing. I love the lower sung vocals in that. His vocal patterns reminded me of Ruin of Beverast quite a lot as well.
Okay,
They had that similar kind of thing, and yeah, I like that the synth bells that would sort of lead the harmony. Um,
yeah.
it was just really well put together. So yeah, I'm in an agreement.
Well, you think that was the best? That was probably your highlight song.
Yeah, it probably was my highlight. And then I like Time and Timeless Timeline,
Yeah,
Cyndi Lauper,
yeah,
and
yeah.
because again, it was like, yeah, just a great short
Time and
burst of power.
timeless timeline.
There's a lot
When you're
actually if you look through the
doing prog and black metal. Time
Time
and
Timeless
timeless timeline.
Timeline. There's a lot of references to time in the track titles as well. So I wonder. I didn't actually dig into the kind of lyrics of this, but I wonder if there was a lot of that
You can
that
imagine there being a
aspect with it.
concept to it. It was quite like it felt like quite a deep
It felt
album.
concept. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, yeah. But I felt like every song kind of had
Something.
there was something to it. Like even like um the song and the now, which
Yeah.
had almost kind of an I don't want to say interlude feel, but it didn't. it was one of those. It didn't really have drums in it, so it didn't really have that kind of the percussive element of it. But there was some great, like the guitars were really cool. They did this like that vibrato affected sort of guitar that was a bit like Twin Peaks, like the Angelo
Mm.
Badalamenti kind of soundtrack sort of stuff that he does, which I really really liked. And
There was
I
a
just
weird
thought,
part in that song. I don't know if
um,
you noted it down. It kind of everything drops. It was around the 4 minute mark. You had this kind of really discordant clean guitar that came in, and then you had this almost like 808 sounding drum that was like kind of hitting a kick, and
yeah,
it was really just it was almost a bit industrial in a really subdued way, but it was really great, man. And you didn't really hear that again in the rest of the record, but
I
it
think the
was it
sound
was
of
well
this
done.
album lends itself to styles like industrial like aspects coming in there because it's got that sort of openness where you've got all these other things going off and you know obviously industrial's a dark sort of style of music and this is a dark album as well, you know, so those elements can come in and complement it without sounding out of place.
Quite lucky that in a way, Mike, that they kind of stuck to 42 minutes because I think this something like this could outstay its welcome, couldn't it? They could go on for like an hour and 10, and then at that point you're a bit like this is a bit too much. I think what makes me want to keep going back to this is because it's so short. I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, I mean you're right. I mean I think when you're when you're putting like a prog influence and stuff into it, there is always that temptation, isn't there, to
yeah,
whack on another 20 minutes or something like that, or just extend the song lengths out even more.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. As you mentioned, like a maturity earlier. I think that's probably shown in the creation of this album to know that you know when to stop, if you know what I mean, as opposed to just keep carrying on.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm looking at some of the other members, but I don't know what bands they're into. They're in. Um, so yeah, I mean, they must be in
They're
other
probably
bands.
older dudes, right? Aren't they? Because he's obviously been around a
Yeah,
bit. I imagine they're
yeah, yeah. I
older
believe so.
guys.
But yeah, man.
Um,
Any more to say on this, Mike? Before we wrap it up?
no, just that I thought just the last song as well, "Flowing Starlight," I thought was really cool. It was a long, again, it was long, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah,
It it's that one felt like it was quite driving almost. It was like the pace was a little bit faster, wasn't it, than a lot of the other songs? But it didn't. I felt like that song could have gone cheesy or gone a you know with doing that kind of beat over it, but
yeah.
they kept it on the right side of that. And the very ending of it, they did these like proggy sort of solos, which were really cool.
It felt like a good endpoint, didn't it,
Yeah, absolutely.
for the record? Definitely check this one out. If you're, yeah, just check it out. I'm not going to say if you're into this, that, or the other. Just, yeah, I think you'll
Is that
probably
because
there's enough there
you struggle struggling to think of
it's,
something?
to think what it is. If you like
Yeah,
prog and black metal and industrial and
bit
anything
of
like that,
goth,
yeah, bit
bit
of
of post
goth,
punk vibe. Yeah.
bit of post punk, bit of 808s in there, you will probably enjoy this. So yeah, give it a check out. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it, and give us a subscribe if you like what you heard, because we put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest metal releases. We will catch you in the next one.